Now, yesterday on Newsday, we were talking about how white blood cells in humans can be modified and put back into the body to help the fight against blood cancer. Today, scientists have this news for us. They've discovered that a white blood cell in birds, which can actually destroy a fungal infection that kills more than 1 million people a year around the world. Well, they're saying if birds can fend off this fungal infection, maybe we can do the same in humans. It affects those with weakened immune systems, particularly HIV and AIDS sufferers. Let's talk now to Dr Simon Johnston of the University of Sheffield, who led the team of scientists which carried out this research. You're very welcome to the programme.
Good morning, Claire.
OK, so tell us a little bit more about this white blood cell in birds and how it helps them.
So this is a white blood cell that we also have. So a lot of immune systems across many animals are very closely related. But what's interesting about this is that we found that this macrophage in birds is able to control this fungal infection, Cryptococcus. So we know that birds are known to carry this fungus, and their droppings are thought to be a source of human infection. But it's been a mystery why birds themselves do not appear to become ill.
OK, so to talk us through it, it's the fungus that's in the droppings. The birds don't get sick from it, but we can. And how can we get ill from that?
So as you said, it's really these deaths are in people with weakened immune systems, so those who have AIDS, but also people who've had organ transplants or on chemotherapy. And so when the immune system is weakened, then we're susceptible to these fungal infections. So fungal infections are relatively unusual, but they're not in these people with weakened immune systems. And
what you just have to be around these bird droppings, do you, to pick up on this fungus?
Yes. So we're exposed to fungi all the time. You know, they're very rich in the environment, but because of our immune systems, we don't tend to get sick with them.
OK, and I'm looking at figures here, 1 million deaths a year, mostly in sub-Saharan Africa, is that right?
That's right, you know, and that's mostly due to the AIDS pandemic there.
Yeah, OK, and lesser access, I guess, to medicines or retroviral drugs as well.
Indeed, that's correct.
Right, so you've made this discovery. How can it apply? How can it help this situation then?
Okay, so, I mean, what we found is that because birds have this higher body temperature than humans, so it's 42 degrees typically rather than us at 37 degrees, but that alone wasn't enough to stop the fungus, but it's this combination of the immune cells and this higher temperature. And so what this means is that the fungus can grow slowly within the gut, but if it tries to invade the rest of the bird's body, then it will be immediately eradicated, and explain why healthy birds could spread the infection. So most importantly for our work, if we can learn how these birds are able to resist, we might be able to gain insights into how we can improve the human immune response to this fungus.
Yeah, so how can we then? So it's a combination in the birds of high temperature and this white blood cell. So how do you sort of transfer that to humans?
Yeah, so our knowledge of the immune system is actually relatively narrow, as in we know quite a bit about the human immune system and other mammals, so mouse, which are used for a lot of health research. But actually, there's a huge diversity in the immune system. So even bacteria have an immune system to help them fight viruses that would infect them. And so it's all these different mechanisms that exist in nature for fighting these things off. We want to try and see if we can use any of those to make our immune system better.
Well, it's certainly a very good start. I mean, and the research presumably continues. How far off do you think some sort of solution to this will be found, a concrete solution?
So I think, especially now that we're finding antimicrobial resistance is increasing, this idea of trying to stimulate the immune response is becoming more prevalent. And as you said, you know, we now have these therapies for things like cancer and also recently multiple sclerosis, where we can modify the immune system. So I think these things are coming. I mean, I think this is fundamental research, and it's going to take a long time to translate that into the clinic. But we hope that in the coming years we will see treatments which are going to be based on this sort of work.
Dr Simon Johnston, we thank you for your time. Simon Johnston there from the University of Sheffield, who led that team of scientists into that research into white blood cells in birds that destroy that fungal infection.